You need to leave. Now.
We have a reservation.
I've already called the police.
Because we are black?
Marcus watched his wife Camille's face light up when the waiter brought out the chocolate souffle. Their 14-year-old daughter Maya was giggling about the fancy bathroom with its gold faucets and embroidered towels. Their 11-year-old son Jordan had taken 17 photos for Instagram, trying to capture the perfect candlelight shot of his pasta. The white tablecloth, crystal wine glasses, soft piano music drifting from the corner. Everything was exactly as Marcus had imagined 3 months ago when he'd made the reservation. 10 years of marriage. A decade. They'd survived job losses, cross-country moves, his deployment to Afghanistan, her mother's cancer. Tonight, they were finally celebrating at La Belle Vie, the nicest French restaurant in downtown Seattle. The kind of place where dinner for four costs $320. Where you save up. Where you make memories. Marcus checked his watch. 7:47 p.m. They'd been seated at 7:30. Appetizers at 7:40. Entrees at 7:45. Everything was perfect. Then the owner appeared at their table. A blonde woman in all black, arms crossed, face hard as stone. The perfect evening shattered like dropped crystal. Before I tell you what happened next, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button right now because this story is about to take a turn that will make your blood boil. If you've ever felt discriminated against, this one's for you. Marcus Thompson was 41. Senior mechanical engineer at Boeing. His wife Camille, 39, was a high school guidance counselor. They lived in Bellevue, Washington in a 4-bedroom house they'd bought 6 years earlier. They were the kind of family that planned everything, researched major purchases, budgeted carefully, taught their kids the value of hard work. For their 10th anniversary, Marcus didn't just pick any restaurant. He spent 2 weeks reading Yelp reviews, comparing menus, studying photos. La Belle Vie had 4.7 stars. Reviews mentioned incredible duck confit, extensive wine selection, intimate atmosphere. Perfect. He called exactly 90 days in advance. Made the reservation. Paid the $60 deposit. Got the confirmation email. Screenshot it twice just to be safe. He told Camille to dress up. She bought a new navy dress from Nordstrom, the kind with a price tag that made her hesitate. He wore his charcoal suit, saved for interviews and funerals. Maya complained about fancy clothes but secretly loved it. Jordan wore a button-down and kept nervously adjusting his collar. They drove 45 minutes from Bellevue to downtown Seattle. Found parking 3 blocks away. Walked through the April rain, Marcus holding the umbrella over Camille's carefully styled hair. The kids ran ahead, excited, dress shoes clicking on wet sidewalk. Marcus always kept his phone charged. 3 years ago he'd been in a car accident and his phone died. He couldn't call for help. Ever since, he was paranoid about battery life. Tonight his phone was at 97%. He had a portable charger in his jacket pocket. Apple Pay and 3 credit cards in his wallet. The confirmation email saved and screenshot. But he had something else too. Something he'd started carrying 2 years ago after watching too many videos of encounters gone wrong. A bodycam. Small, discreet, clipped to his jacket lapel like a fancy pin. Most people never noticed. He bought it on Amazon for $89. It recorded up to 6 hours on a single charge. Uploaded automatically to cloud storage. He told Camille about it once. She'd gotten quiet. You really think you need that? I hope I never do. But if I do, I want proof. Tonight, when they walked into La Belle Vie, he pressed the button. Just have it. Just in case. He was wrong about never needing it. La Belle Vie sat on a quiet corner of Pine Street, glowing warm gold against the April rain. Inside, romantic dim lighting. Candles flickered on every table. Exposed brick walls decorated with abstract art in expensive gold frames. A pianist in the corner played Chopin. The smell of garlic, butter, and wine hung thick. The hostess seated them at a corner booth. Curved leather seating, intimate and comfortable. Marcus and Camille on one side, kids on the other. The menus were leather-bound with gold-embossed lettering. No prices on Camille's menu, an old-school classy touch. Their waiter was a young white man with a neat beard and kind eyes. Professional and warm. Brought water with lemon. Explained the specials in detail. Took their order without hesitation, without judgment. Pure professionalism. Camille ordered seared salmon with hollandaise. Marcus got the ribeye medium rare with truffle mashed potatoes. Maya chose chicken piccata after the waiter assured her it wasn't too fancy. Jordan wanted pasta carbonara, his safe choice. They ordered Pinot Noir for the adults, sparkling cider and wine glasses for the kids. An appetizer of bacon-wrapped dates that the waiter promised was incredible. The restaurant was full. Mostly white couples on dates. One Asian family by the window with balloons tied to their chairs. An older white couple in the corner raising champagne glasses. Everyone looked comfortable. Relaxed. Marcus looked around and felt proud. They belonged here. They'd earned this. Maya leaned over to her mother, whispering loudly. "Mom, this place is so fancy. Are we rich now?" Camille laughed, that beautiful sound Marcus fell in love with 11 years ago. "Not rich, baby. Just celebrating." Jordan was documenting everything on his phone. "Dad, this is going on TikTok. My friends are gonna freak out." Marcus smiled. "Just don't film people without asking." The appetizer arrived. The bacon-wrapped dates were perfect. Sweet, salty, rich. Jordan ate 3 before anyone else got one. The entrees came 15 minutes later, beautifully plated. The salmon glistened under golden hollandaise. The steak was cooked exactly medium rare, pink in the middle with charred edges. Marcus cut into it and smiled. Worth every dollar of the $320 he'd budgeted. Camille reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Thank you for this. For all of it. For 10 years. Marcus smiled. Another 10? Another 50. It was the kind of evening where nothing could go wrong. Where the world felt right. Where a black family could sit in a nice restaurant and just exist. Just celebrate love. Just be. Marcus should have known better. In America, peace for black people is always temporary. Always fragile. Always one white person's suspicion away from shattering. If you're already shaking with anger right now, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications because what happens next will leave you speechless. Marcus noticed her first. The owner. He'd seen her when they walked in, standing near the hostess stand like a guard. A white woman, mid-50s, blonde hair pulled back so tight it looked painful. All black. Expensive slacks, silk blouse. Perfect makeup. Sparkling jewelry. When they'd entered, she glanced at them. Not smiled. Not welcomed them. Just looked. Cold. Assessing. Calculating. Marcus hadn't thought much of it then. Now she was walking toward their table. Heels clicking on the hardwood floor like gunshots. Her face wasn't friendly. It wasn't neutral. Hard. Jaw set. Eyes locked on Marcus like a missile. Camille noticed too. She put her fork down, salmon halfway to her mouth. "Is she coming to us?" The woman arrived and didn't smile. Didn't soften. Arms crossed tight over her chest. Defensive. Hostile. "Excuse me." Marcus looked up, confused, still chewing. He swallowed. "Yes. I'm going to need you to leave." Silence. Maya stopped mid-bite, fork frozen. Jordan's hand hovered over his phone. Camille blinked twice, processing. Marcus stared, certain he'd misheard. "I'm sorry, what?" "I need you to leave the restaurant. Now." Marcus set down his knife and fork carefully. Deliberately. His voice was calm. Controlled. "I don't understand. Is there a problem with our meal?" "There's a problem with your reservation." "Our reservation?" Marcus kept his tone even. "We made it 3 months ago. Thompson. Party of 4. 7:30. The owner shook her head, that tight blonde bun not moving. "We don't have any reservation under that name." Camille leaned forward, her guidance counselor voice emerging. Patient but firm. "That's not possible. My husband called in January. We got a confirmation email. We paid a deposit. I don't know what to tell you. There's no reservation. And frankly, we're fully booked tonight. You're taking up a table that belongs to someone else." Marcus felt his heart rate spike but kept his face neutral. He pulled out his phone slowly, making every movement visible and non-threatening. "I have the email right here. Look." He opened his email app, scrolled to the confirmation, held it up. The screen showed, "Reservation confirmed for Thompson, party of 4, April 14th, 7:30 p.m. Deposit, $60. Thank you for choosing La Belle Vie." The owner barely glanced. Her eyes flicked to the screen for maybe half a second. "Anyone can fake an email." Marcus felt the words like a slap. "Fake an email? Why would I fake a reservation email? We've been sitting here for 20 minutes. Your waiter took our order. We're eating food. Food we paid for. That's not my concern. I need you to leave. Jordan's voice was small. Scared. Dad, what's happening? Marcus kept his eyes on the owner but reached over to squeeze his son's shoulder. It's okay, buddy. Then back to the owner. Can you please explain why you're asking us to leave? We have a legitimate reservation. We're halfway through our meal. What is the actual problem? The owner's voice got louder, carrying across the restaurant. The problem is you don't belong here. The words hung like smoke. At the next table, a white couple in their 30s glanced over, forks pausing. The pianist kept playing but the music felt distant, drowned out by tension. Camille's voice cut through the air like ice. Excuse me? Say that again. This is a fine dining establishment. We have standards. We cater to a specific clientele. And I have the right to refuse service to anyone. Marcus felt his stomach drop. He locked eyes with her. Is this because we're black? The owner's face tightened. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Camille stood now, voice shaking with controlled fury. You're throwing us out because we're black. Say it. I'm asking you to leave before. Before what? Marcus interrupted. Before you have to admit what this really is? We have a reservation. We're eating a meal we paid for. The only thing different about us is the color of our skin. The owner's face went red. Blotchy. You don't have any rights in my restaurant. This is private property. Marcus felt his engineering brain kick in. Actually, under the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title II, restaurants are considered public accommodations. You cannot refuse service based on race, color, religion, or national origin. The owner's eyes narrowed into slits. Don't quote law at me. My husband is the police chief. I know my rights. There it was. The threat. The power play. My husband is the police chief. Then you know you can't do this, Marcus said. The owner smiled. It wasn't nice. Watch me. The owner waved someone over with an impatient gesture. A manager appeared. White man, early 30s, vest and tie, nervous expression. She spoke to him in a low voice but Marcus caught fragments. Want them out, told them to leave, not listening. The manager glanced at the Thompson family, face tightening with visible discomfort. Marcus stood slowly. 6'2" and broad-shouldered. When he stood, people noticed. He wasn't trying to be intimidating. He just wanted to be taken seriously. Look, I don't know what's happening here, but this is simple. We have a reservation. I can prove it. He pulled up his phone again. Showed the confirmation email, zooming in on details. Showed his credit card statement, scrolling to the charge from 3 months ago. La Bellevue reservation deposit, $60. Showed his driver's license. Washington State. Marcus Anthony Thompson. The manager looked at the phone. His eyes actually read the information. His expression shifted. Confusion, then recognition, then deep discomfort. Mrs. Patterson, he does have. I don't care what he has, the owner snapped. I'm telling you they don't have a reservation. Check the book. The manager hesitated, caught between his boss and reality. He walked to the hostess stand, movement stiff. Came back with a leather-bound reservation book. Flipped through pages. His finger traced down the list for April 14th. He looked up. There is a Thompson here. 7:30. Party of 4. Deposit paid. The owner snatched the book. Stared at it. Her face went even redder, veins visible at her temples. This must be a mistake. This wasn't here before. Someone added this. Mrs. Patterson, it's been in the system since January. Then cancel it. Cancel it? The manager's voice cracked. They're already here. They're already eating. Then they need to pay and leave. Immediately. Camille stood now too. Her small frame radiated fury. We're not leaving in the middle of our anniversary meal. We have every right to be here and you know it. You don't have the right to be anywhere I don't want you. Yes, we do. That's literally the law. My restaurant, my rules. Maya started crying. Quiet at first, then louder. Tears running down her cheeks. The black mascara she'd begged to wear started to smudge. Jordan reached over and grabbed his sister's hand. His own hand was trembling. Marcus felt rage building like pressure in a sealed container. But he forced it down. Swallowed it. Kept his voice level. Almost unnaturally calm. Why are you doing this? What did we do wrong? You're making a scene. You're disturbing other guests. We were sitting quietly eating until you came over and started harassing us. I don't have to explain myself to you. Marcus locked eyes with her. Yes, you do. Because I'm not leaving until you tell me the real reason you want us gone. The owner's voice went cold. Venomous. Fine. You want the truth? You don't fit here. This restaurant has a reputation to maintain. A certain atmosphere. Having people like you. People like us? Camille's voice cracked. Black people? Say it. We're black and you don't want black people in your restaurant. I think you know exactly. Say it. Camille's voice rang out across the silent restaurant. You're discriminating against us because we're black. Say the words out loud so everyone can hear you. The owner's jaw clenched. Her eyes darted around the restaurant at all the watching faces. I'm calling the police. Marcus's voice was deadly calm. You're calling the police because we're black. I'm calling because you're trespassing. We have a reservation. You admitted we have a reservation. The only reason you want us gone is because we're black. He looked around at the other diners. Everyone here heard it. She told us we don't fit her clientele. We don't fit her atmosphere. What she means is, we're too black for this restaurant. Marcus felt his blood turn to ice. Chief Patterson. Her husband was the police chief. Not just a cop. The chief. The man who ran the entire Seattle Police Department. This just went from bad to potentially deadly. In that moment, Marcus's mind flashed back 10 years and 3 months. The night he proposed to Camille. They'd been dating for 2 years. He'd saved for 6 months to buy the ring, working overtime, skipping lunches, walking instead of driving. Nothing fancy. Half a carat. White gold band. But it was hers. He took her to Gasworks Park. Spread out a blanket on the hill overlooking Lake Union. Brought wine, cheese, strawberries. July. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange, pink, and purple. He got down on one knee, hands shaking so badly the ring box rattled. Camille Marie Johnson, will you marry me? She said yes before he finished. Practically tackled him onto the blanket. They laughed until their stomachs hurt, rolling in the grass like kids. That night, lying under emerging stars, she said something he'd never forgotten. One day we're going to be old and fancy. We're going to go to expensive restaurants and order too much food and laugh about how broke we used to be. How we ate ramen 5 nights a week and called it gourmet. He kissed her forehead. Breathed in her perfume. Deal. And I'll take you somewhere so nice they have cloth napkins. She laughed. Cloth napkins. Living the dream. 10 years. They built a life from nothing. A family. A home. 2 careers. They survived his deployment to Afghanistan. Survived her mother's cancer. Survived layoffs, moves, fights, makeups. They built something real and solid and beautiful. Tonight was supposed to celebrate that survival. Proof that they'd made it. That 2 middle-class kids could grow up and have nice things and belong in nice places. Instead, they were being told they didn't belong. That their presence ruined the atmosphere. That their black skin made them criminals. The owner's voice snapped him back. I'm dialing now. Last chance to leave on your own. The owner pulled out her phone. An iPhone in a designer case. She was loud now. Performative. Making sure everyone could hear. Her voice went up an octave, theatrical and breathless. Yes, I need police at La Bellevue Restaurant, 412 Pine Street. There's a family here refusing to leave. They're becoming aggressive and threatening. Please send officers immediately. Marcus's voice cut through her performance. Tell them we're black. Tell them the real reason you're calling. Into the phone, breathless. Yes, they're very hostile. The man is large and intimidating. I'm frightened. My staff is frightened. Please hurry. Camille was shaking. You're calling the cops on us for being black. For eating dinner while black. I'm calling because you're trespassing. We have a reservation. Camille's voice broke. We have proof. The only crime we committed is being black in your restaurant. Not anymore, you don't. Marcus pulled Camille back gently. Don't give her anything to use. He looked at his kids. Maya was crying, mascara smudged. Jordan looked terrified, frozen. Marcus sat back down and pulled them both close. One arm around each. His voice was soft just for them. It's okay. We didn't do anything wrong. The police will see that. Everything's going to be okay. But his heart was pounding against his ribs like it was trying to escape. His mouth was dry. His hands wanted to shake, but he forced them still. He knew what happened when police showed up to situations like this. He knew the statistics. He knew the names that had become hashtags. Tamir Rice, 12 years old, toy gun, shot within 2 seconds. Philando Castile, broken taillight, shot 7 times in front of his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter. Breonna Taylor, asleep in her bed, 26 bullets fired. It hit her. George Floyd, suspected counterfeit 20. Knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds while he begged for his mother. Marcus knew the pattern. Normal day. White person's suspicion. Police called. Black person ends up hurt. Or dead. And now the police chief's wife had told dispatch that he was large and intimidating and aggressive and threatening. She'd set the narrative before the cops got in their cars. She'd primed them to see him as a threat. He pulled out his phone, opened the camera app. Hit record. Propped it against the water glass, angling it toward the owner. "What are you doing?" the owner demanded. "Documenting. Every word. Every lie you just told dispatch. You can't record in here without my permission. Washington State. One-party consent law. I'm a party to this conversation. I can record." The owner's face went purple. A deep, actual purple. A vein throbbed at her temple. "You're threatening me now? Did everyone hear that? He's threatening me. He's recording me without permission. He's intimidating me." Marcus didn't respond. Just kept the camera running. Kept his hands visible on the table except the one around his kids. Kept his voice calm. Kept his movements slow and deliberate. The body cam on his lapel was still recording. Had been recording since they walked in. 2 angles. Redundancy. Evidence. If something happened tonight, if this went wrong, at least there would be proof. Marcus's mind went somewhere else. Back to another conversation. The talk that every black parent gives their son. He was 16. Had just gotten his driver's license. Wanted to drive to the movies with friends. His father sat him down in their small living room in Tacoma. Serious face. Heavy voice. "Son, when you get pulled over, and you will, it's not if, it's when, here's what you do. Hands on the wheel at 10 and 2. Windows down before they approach. Interior light on if it's nighttime. Don't reach for anything without announcing it first. Say, 'Officer, my license is in my wallet in my back right pocket. May I reach for it?' Don't argue. Don't explain. Don't try to educate them about your rights. Just comply and come home alive. You understand me?" Marcus had nodded, annoyed at the time. Thinking his father was overreacting. "Dad, I'm not gonna get pulled over. I'm a good driver." His father's face had been stone. "This isn't about driving, son. This is about surviving." Marcus hadn't understood then. He understood now. Over the years, Marcus had been pulled over 9 times. Twice he was actually speeding. 5 miles over both times. The other 7? Broken taillight that wasn't broken. Swerving when he hadn't swerved. Matching a description. Routine check. Suspicious registration. Each time he followed his father's instructions to the letter. Hands visible. Voice respectful. "Yes, officer." "No, officer." Heart hammering. Praying. Each time he'd been let go with a warning or ticket. Each time he'd driven away thinking, that could have gone so much worse. Because he'd watched the videos. Everyone had watched the videos. They played on loop on social media. On the news. George Floyd's face pressed into the asphalt, begging for his mother. Eric Garner's last words, "I can't breathe," repeated 11 times. Philando Castile's girlfriend live streaming as her boyfriend bled out. Ahmaud Arbery hunted down and shot like prey. The pattern was always the same. Normal day. White person's suspicion. Police called. Black person doesn't make it home. And now Marcus was in that pattern. Anniversary dinner. White woman's accusation. Police en route. Police chief's wife, which meant these cops would already be biased, already primed to believe her story, already seeing him as a threat before they walked through the door. His father's voice echoed like a prayer. "Come home alive, son. That's the only thing that matters. Your pride, your dignity, your rights, none of that matters if you don't come home alive." Marcus had to come home alive. For Maya, who still believed the world was fair. For Jordan, who didn't yet understand why some people looked at him differently. For Camille, who'd built a life with him and trusted him to see tomorrow. He kept his hands on the table. Kept his voice calm. Kept breathing. kept his children close, and waited. If your heart is racing right now, hit that like button and subscribe because you need to see what happens when those police officers walk through that door. The sirens came first. Distant wail, then closer, then right outside. Then the lights. Blue and red, flashing through the windows, painting everyone's faces in alternating colors like some twisted disco ball. The piano stayed silent. Every diner was watching. Meals forgotten. Conversation stopped. Everyone staring at the Thompson family like they were watching a movie, except this was real life and real stakes and real danger. 2 police officers walked through the door. Both white men. One older, maybe late 40s, graying at the temples, thick build, the kind of cop who'd seen everything. One younger, late 20s, muscular, hand already hovering near his belt, near his gun, tense like a coiled spring. The owner rushed to them immediately. Practically ran. Her voice went even higher, breathless, victim voice in full effect. "Thank God you're here. That family over there," she pointed like she was identifying criminals in a lineup. "They've been harassing me. Threatening me. They don't have a reservation. They're refusing to leave. The father has been aggressive and intimidating. He's recording me without permission. I'm afraid for my safety and the safety of my staff and customers." The younger officer's hand moved closer to his weapon. The older officer's face stayed neutral, practiced, unreadable. Marcus felt his whole body go cold. Ice in his veins. This was the moment where everything could go wrong. Where a nervous cop, a sudden movement, a misunderstood gesture could turn this from harassment into tragedy. The older officer held up a hand to the owner. "Slow down, ma'am. Let's figure out what's going on. What's going on is they're trespassing. I've asked them multiple times to leave and they've refused. He's been aggressive and threatening and—" "Ma'am? Firmer now. I need you to slow down and let me assess the situation." He turned to look at the Thompson family. "Really look." Marcus, standing, hands clearly visible at his sides, nothing threatening in his posture. Camille, standing protectively in front of her children like a shield. Maya and Jordan, both looking absolutely terrified, faces showing pure fear. The officer's eyes took in the scene. The half-eaten meals. The melted candle. The wine glasses. The formal clothing. The body cam on Marcus's lapel. He noticed it immediately, eyes lingering there for a long second. Then he turned to Marcus. His voice was careful. Measured. Professional. "Sir, I'm Officer Reynolds. Can you tell me what's happening here?" Marcus chose every word carefully. Kept his voice calm, respectful, non-threatening. "Officer, my family and I have a reservation at this restaurant. We made it 3 months ago. We've been here approximately 40 minutes eating our anniversary meal. The meal we paid a $60 deposit for. The owner approached our table unprovoked and asked us to leave. When we asked why, she said we don't belong here and we don't fit her clientele. We showed her our reservation confirmation, our receipt for the deposit, our identification. Everything. She ignored all of it and called 911. She falsely reported that we were trespassing and being aggressive. Sir, we've been sitting at our table the entire time. We haven't raised our voices. We haven't threatened anyone. Multiple other customers have been recording because they witnessed what happened." Officer Reynolds nodded slowly, taking it in. Then he turned to the owner. "Ma'am, do they have a reservation?" The owner hesitated. "Trap. Well, technically yes, but..." "But what?" "But I don't want them here." "Why not?" She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Because they don't fit the atmosphere I'm trying to create. This is a high-end establishment and I have the right to maintain certain standards." Officer Reynolds's expression shifted. Marcus caught it. A flicker of understanding. Maybe disappointment. Maybe disgust. "What standards would those be, ma'am?" "I don't have to explain myself to you. Actually, you do. You called 911 and reported a crime. I need to determine if a crime has been committed." He pulled out a small notebook. "So I'll ask again. What standards?" Silence. The owner's face cycled through emotions. Anger. Fear. Desperation. The younger officer, still tense, spoke up. "Should I run their IDs? Check for warrants?" Officer Reynolds didn't take his eyes off the owner. "For what?" "They're eating dinner." The younger officer looked confused. "But she said." "I heard what she said. I'm trying to figure out what actually happened versus what she claims happened." He turned back to the owner. "Ma'am, have they been violent?" Well, no, but have they been verbally abusive? They've been argumentative. Argumentative isn't a crime. Have they refused to pay? They haven't finished yet. Have they damaged any property? No, but have they threatened you physically? The way he was standing. Standing isn't a threat. Have they touched you? No. Have they prevented you from leaving or moving freely? No, but I felt. Ma'am, feelings aren't facts. I need to know what actually happened. Officer Reynolds' voice was getting harder, more direct. So let me ask you one more time. What crime have they committed? Silence. Complete silence. You could hear the rain outside, the hum of refrigerators in the kitchen, someone's phone buzzing. The owner had no answer. Officer Reynolds turned to the manager, who'd been standing uselessly to the side wringing his hands. Sir, what's your position here? I'm the manager. Do they have a reservation? The manager nodded miserably. Yes, sir. Thompson. Party of 4. 7:30. They've had it for 3 months. Paid the deposit in January. And have they caused any problems tonight? No, sir. Quiet. Ashamed. They've been model customers. Have they been loud? Disruptive? No, sir. Have they complained about the food or service? No, sir. They seem to be enjoying everything. So why does the owner want them to leave? The manager looked at the owner, looked at the Thompson family, looked at the floor. I don't know, sir. But he did know. Everyone knew. The question was who would say it out loud. Officer Reynolds made notes. Then he did something unexpected. He walked over to the table behind the Thompsons, to the older white couple. The woman, Diane, who'd been sitting close enough to hear everything. Her husband Harold was very focused on his salmon, pretending to be invisible. Ma'am, you've been sitting close to this table all evening. Have you witnessed anything threatening or aggressive from this family? Diane looked at her husband. Harold wouldn't meet her eyes. She looked at the owner, who was staring at her with intensity. Then she looked at the Thompson family. At Maya's tear-stained face. At Jordan's terrified expression. At Camille holding her children. At Marcus standing with his hands visible, trying so hard to appear non-threatening while being treated like a criminal. Diane took a breath. Made a choice. No, officer. They were just eating dinner. Quietly. Talking among themselves. The owner came over and started demanding they leave. They were confused. Then she called you. They haven't done anything wrong. Nothing. A young black man who'd been recording from across the room spoke up. Officer, I've got the whole thing on video. She racially profiled them. Told them they don't belong here. Said they don't fit her clientele. Another diner, the young white woman in the red dress, held up her phone. I recorded it too. She was completely out of line. Officer Reynolds looked around. At least 5 phones were still recording. Multiple witnesses. All contradicting the owner's story. He turned back to the owner. His voice was no longer neutral. Art. Disappointed. The voice of a man who'd seen this too many times. Ma'am, did you refuse service to these customers based on their race? The owner's face went through a rainbow of colors. Red, then purple, then pale, then gray. I never said anything about race. This isn't about race. Then what is it about? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. No words came out. Her brain was searching desperately for an answer that wouldn't incriminate her and finding nothing. Ma'am, I need you to answer the question. Why did you want this family to leave? Finally, quietly, desperately, playing her last card. Call my husband. He's the police chief. Chief Patterson. He'll explain. He'll understand. He knows how to handle situations like this. Officer Reynolds' expression went completely flat. Your husband is Chief Patterson? Yes. Call him. He'll tell you I'm right. Officer Reynolds was quiet for a long moment. Then he turned to his partner. Rodriguez, call the chief. Tell him we need him at La Bellevue. Right now. The younger officer,